Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live closing party of Hackergal's 13th National Hackathon. Oh my goodness, what an amazing week it's been. We've accomplished so much together this week, and there's so much to celebrate. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our teachers. Welcome, Hackergal partners. Welcome, parents. And of course, welcome to all of the inspirational girls and gender diverse learners that make up our National Hackathon. Thank you for everyone joining us today. My name is Lucy, and I'm the founder of Hackergal. I am super excited to co-host today's event. You girls did it. You came, you coded, and you're conquering. This is what the hackathon is all about, and we're here for it. It really is my pleasure to be here with you all today. Of course, I'm not alone in hosting today's awesome event. I'm thrilled to introduce my co-host, Rebecca. Rebecca is the interim executive director at Hackergal. You may have spotted her visiting one of our live community spotlights during the kickoff party. Well, she's back and she's ready to celebrate. She'll be co-hosting in both English and French today. I'll pass it over to you, Rebecca.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for the introduction, Lucy. Bonjour à toutes et à tous. Pour ceux qui me voient pour la première fois, je m'appelle Rebecca et je suis ravie de participer à cet événement extraordinaire. C'est vraiment génial de penser que cela fait déjà une semaine entière et que cet événement marque en fait la fin du 13e Hackathon de Hackergal. Wow! C'est très excitant de voir autant de visages enthousiastes de tout le Canada, tous ici pour explorer le monde du codage avec Hackergal.
Thanks, Rebecca. We'd like to start by acknowledging the land we're coming to you from today. I am in Burlington, Ontario, on the ancestral lands of the Attawandaron people, which more recently have become the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. We acknowledge that the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe Neutral People, Anishinaabe Nation, and the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Mississaugas of the Credit lived here before us and continue to live here today. We recognize both our responsibility and obligation to the peoples on whose traditional territory we work, learn, and live. Rebecca will now read our land acknowledgement in French.
Nous nous adressons à vous à partir des terres ancestrales du peuple Attawandaron, qui sont devenues plus récemment les terres et le territoire visés par le traité des Mississaugas de Crédit. Nous reconnaissons que les Haudenosaunee, le peuple neutre Anishinaabe, la nation Anishinaabe, la Confédération Haudenosaunee et les Premières Nations des Mississaugas du Crédit ont vécu ici avant nous et continuent d'y vivre maintenant. Nous reconnaissons à la fois notre responsabilité et notre obligation envers les peuples sur le territoire traditionnel duquel nous travaillons, apprenons et vivons. All right, now let's get started with a fun icebreaker. We're going to go through some points on cybersecurity together to see if you can guess the right answer in the chat. So get ready for a quiz. I hope you're all looking straight at the screen, getting pretty excited. We have some pretty hard questions to test you all, so get ready. Teachers, feel free to write your group's responses in the chat. We're going to keep our eyes on the chat and see what the answers are coming in, and let's get started. So the first question that we're going to ask you all is a true or false, okay? So the question we're asking is, over half of Canadians have experienced cybercrime at least once, and we're trying to see if this is true or false. So what do we think? Is this something that's true? Some of you might be asking, what's cybercrime? What counts as cybercrime? So cybercrime can be defined as the use of technology like laptops, mobile devices, cell phones, tablets to commit fraud, which is when people lie to get money or personal gain, something to make their lives a little bit better by treating other people poorly, right? It can also mean that it's identity theft, so someone's stealing your identity and your personal information. It could be data breaches for big companies. There's a big truck going by my house right now, so just FYI. Living in Toronto right now, viruses on your computer and scams. So now that we know that, now that we know cybercrime is, do we really think this is true? Could it be true that over half of Canadians have experienced cybercrime? What do we think? So this is a true or false. I'm looking in the chat. I see true, 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 c'est vrai. Okay, I see a lot of true. So people are thinking it's true. All right, we'll reveal the answer now. And it is true, you got it right. So that's wild, right? Like, think of that. Over half of Canadians have fallen for some kind of cybercrime. So it's super important that we stay attentive and make sure we're educated on this. All right, our next question that we're going to ask you is multiple choice. Now, the question is, in 2021, Canadians lost blank dollars to online fraud. So you get to guess how much money from across the country, if we pulled together all the money that Canadians lost to online fraud, what would that number be? Is it A, $60 million, B, $7 million, or C, $100 million? So think about it from across Canada in 2021. How much money coming together would that have been? Okay, so we got some answers in the chat. I don't know, Lucy, do you have a thought? Do you know which one it's going to be?
I want to say A, but a lot of
Mm.
folks are saying C. I see a
Mhm.
lot of, there's one A as well, a couple of A's, actually a lot of
Okay.
A's. A lot of people think A. What do you think, Rebecca?
Interesting. Interesting. So this is a tricky one. It's definitely cool to think about it being a few years ago. Like, who knows what it is now, but a few years ago in 2021, the answer is that across Canada, it was $100
Wow.
million. So it was a lot of money. So a lot of you guessed the 60 million, which is great, just to show you how big of amount of money that was. So who knows what the statistic could be this year, but just to keep that in mind, a lot of money was lost to online fraud in 2021. So let's move on to the next one. This is our last question. It's going to be a tricky one. So make sure to put your critical thinking caps on. What are the top two most common types of online fraud in Canada? So think about criminals pretending that they are someone else or offering exciting opportunities to you that aren't real. What are the choices we have here? So the top two could be free puppies and investment opportunities. Is it investment opportunities in romance scams? Or is it free cars and beach vacations? So, what could they be? Let's think about the top two most common when it comes to people trying to trick others into giving them money or personal information. What do we think those could be? All right, we got some answers coming in here. We some B, some C, some C, some C, some B, some C. Okay, interesting. No one's going for the free puppies
No, no,
necessarily.
no puppies.
Lucy, what do you think? Do you think it's free puppies and
I
investment
wish I could
opportunities?
say A. I want to say A, but I really think it's a B for me.
Okay,
Yes.
interesting. Okay, so we've got a lot of different answers coming in for sure. So we all want free puppies, absolutely Mountain View, 100%. So the answer is actually investment opportunities and romance scams. So it's super important that we always think critically when someone reaches out to us, when we're talking to people online. It's really important not to immediately trust anyone who we're talking to online because they might be reaching out with something that seems super exciting, really wonderful. Maybe it's something you've dreamed of, but you always have to be really careful in making sure you know who you're talking to and what they're offering and making sure that it's real before you go any further. So that's really good information to know. It's definitely shown me that you all have really good instincts when it comes to cybersecurity and know-how of staying safe and savvy online. So kudos to all of you. Thank you for participating. I'll pass it over to Lucy now to move forward with some event reminders for us.
Thank you, Rebecca. I know someone said be wary of those romances online. That is very, very true. That was really fun. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot of things I certainly did not know about cyber crimes in Canada. It's up to Hackergals to figure out how we can bring those numbers down in the future. I hope you all had a great time guessing with us virtually and in your classrooms and your coding clubs. And like Rebecca said, we have a couple of reminders that we want to share with you quickly. Today's event is being recorded for folks who aren't able to join us live but are still taking part in this national event. All attendees are muted and cameras are disabled so that everyone can be as safe and as comfortable as possible. But while you may be muted, we still want to hear from you. So please let your excitement shine through in our chat. Just remember, our chat is intended for positive and encouraging messages only, and we ask that you do not share any personal information. We have one of our Hackergal team members, the amazing Michelle, in the chat to support with us today in keeping everyone's privacy a priority and to drop important links along the way. We're all in for such a treat because we have an amazing lineup of speakers with us today. Submit your questions to our speakers throughout the event using the chat. We'll make sure to keep track of them as we go. Finally, we want to see your favorite moments from this year's hackathon and today's event. So please share them with us by tagging us on social media or using the hashtag #IamAHackergal or hashtag #JeSuisUnHackergal. Today's agenda is action-packed. We're going to start by connecting with some incredible community spotlights who have been participating in the hackathon all week. We can't wait to hear from these cyber heroes and see how their coding clubs are going. We're then going to go into an exclusive and first ever hackathon career fair featuring not one, not two, but three incredible women working in tech. You'll get the chance to hear about their career journeys, their current jobs, why STEAM is important to them, and you'll get to get the chance to put them on the spot and ask them all of your burning questions. Remember to use the chat to submit your questions. After the career fair, we'll get the chance to hear from our 2024 Hackergal and Faskin Inspire Scholarship recipient, Naya. She is an incredible, intelligent, and inspiring Hackergal who you don't want to miss.
Unmute. Okay, great. So we'll then move on to highlight today's keynote speaker, Ms. Véronique Poulin from Faskin, an international legal firm at the end of our hackathon. And we can't wait to hear from her and have her close out the event. Lots of exciting, fun, and important info to come. So let's get started, shall we? I can hear the cheers from across Canada that we're getting started. I'm very excited to move forward. So what happened this week? Let's do some reflection. Let's think about what we all accomplished. What did you do this week because of the hackathon? What do you remember from this week that was really memorable and lovely, or a new skill that you took on? Please feel free to put your answers in the chat if you have any memorable moments from the hackathon or something that you took away that maybe you didn't know before. Lucy, what were your some favorite parts of the hackathon?
Rebecca, after watching the kickoff party, I want to say my favorite part was seeing the learners from across Canada and seeing the coding clubs come to life. And I know we are seeing some today, so I would have to say that's for sure my favorite part, hands down.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Just seeing everybody on screen and having them, share their stories and what they loved about being hacker gals. Also knowing that all these coding projects are going on in the background is super exciting, just so we get to see them at the end of the week. It's really, I can't wait. I can't wait to see all the coding projects.
And I have to
So
say the theme this year,
yeah,
amazing. It's so creative and there's so much juicy nuggets to pull from this year's theme. So I can't wait to see the projects that are submitted.
yeah, absolutely. And if anyone has anything in the chat that they thought was super exciting, we have some coming in. Apparently there was a
Someone made a
TikTok video
TikTok
made.
video.
That's great. Please make sure to tag us in that. We would love to see it. I see that Michelle's favorite part was looking at all the questions on the Padlet. Yeah, being able to answer those questions, our team looking at your questions, being able to work through them to support you as hacker gals. That's definitely a big part of it, hearing from all the learners across the country. Lindsay says, tellement heureuse d'être ici et de voir les projets des autres. Yep, absolutely. Being able to see other people's projects and compare them. Matthew says, working with our partners to code our projects. And then École Punledge says, all the new people who joined our club. That's wonderful. It's so nice to have that community spirit too. That's a huge part of it. So, we've had an awesome week of learning and discovery. We heard from our incredible keynote speaker at our live launch event on Monday, Laura from the Canadian Center for Cybersecurity. She shared her story and the importance of cybersecurity in our world today. We also visited those communities, like Lucy said, across Canada, Ottawa, Newcastle, Mississauga, and we're meeting some more today, which is wonderful. And we really wanted to just thank you all for taking the time to dive into the theme, start designing your projects, and creating something extraordinary across the country. This is a huge movement, and everyone should be so proud of what they've accomplished. Quelle semaine bien remplie, nous avons entendu notre incroyable Laura du Centre canadien pour la cybersécurité, qui a partagé l'importance de la cybersécurité dans notre monde. Nous avons visité quelques communautés au travers le pays et rencontré certaines de nos participants. Vous créez actuellement du super projet sur la cybersécurité et chacun d'entre vous peut être fier. Aujourd'hui marque la grande finale du Hackathon 2024. Nous célébrons vos réalisations, les Hackergal.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for the amazing recap. It's super exciting to hear what everyone thought was their favorite moments. And now without further ado, let's see some of our Hackergal communities that are coming up next. We're going to fly all the way to the west coast of Canada for our first spotlight community in Courtenay, British Columbia at École Pointe-Ledge Park Elementary School. Let's check in with Hackergal's very own Lynn, who is live on the scene. Hey, Lynn.
Hi, say hi everyone.
Hi.
Good morning from British Columbia. We're here in Courtenay, BC with the girls and coders from École Pointe-Ledge Elementary Park School. My name is Lynn. I'm the bilingual program manager. Oops, I'm just covering someone behind me. So we have two learners who are going to speak today. We have Sophia and Rowan, and we also have Miss Kara Dawson, who is one of our facilitators. Go ahead, Kara.
Hi, I'm super excited to be here today. I'm actually here representing Kim, who's losing her voice a little bit. She's totally excited with her team here of 15 girls. And the team was actually started because some of the girls that were here wanted to do a Hackergal club. So the district didn't do one this year, but Pointe-Ledge Park rocked it. So it was great that the girls approached her and she started a club. And then when they found out they were going to be a spotlight club, the team doubled. And it was really great to see that all of the girls who had started earlier, who had done it last year, mentored the newer girls. And they've done super well. It's really exciting to see all their games about cybersecurity, protecting yourself online, and cyberbullying. I'm looking forward to working with these guys today, and Kim is an amazing, amazing person working with them all year.
Rowan, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Rowan. Things I love about Hackergal are the people that do it, the opportunity it brings for the future. I also love to be able to code and make cool projects like my project on cyberbullying. I hope I can use my coding skills to become an architect in the future.
Thanks, Rowan. Sophia?
Following Circuit J'aime apprendre à Hackergal et les choses que vous pouvez apprendre. J'aime savoir comment faire le codage. J'ai commencé avec Hackergal parce que c'était amusant. Projet de Hackathon et à propos de cybersécurité.
Thank you, girls. Thanks again from here in BC. Say hi, everyone, again, girls.
Hi.
Back to you, Lucy. Thank you.
It's so nice to see you girls, and I can't believe the club doubled. Amazing. That's so cool. Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you, Kara, and all the Hacker Gals from Courtenay, BC. Awesome stuff. Now we'll be moving to Toronto, Ontario, where Zainab from Hackergal is standing by with the learners at Notre Dame High School. This coding club is led by our very own Hackergal ambassador, Frances, with the support of her mentor, Raella, and champion facilitator, Miss Yarima. And welcome everyone, Zainab. Take it away.
Thank you, Lucy. Hi, everyone. My name is Zainab, and I'm the Ambassador Program Lead here at Hackergal. I'm so happy to be here with the Hackergals from Notre Dame High School. We acknowledge that we are hosted on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat people. Our group of learners and teachers are so happy to be a part of the celebration today. Say hi, everyone. Hi. And I'll pass it over to Frances, one of our ambassadors, to share a message.
Hi, my name's Frances, and the thing that I really like about Hackergal's program is just the support and community it creates. You know, everyone getting together, coding, creates such a supportive environment that I really love.
And I'll also pass it over to Riella, Frances's ambassador or mentor. That's also a part of the ambassador program.
Hi, my name is Riella. I'm a Hackergal ambassador, and my favorite thing about the hackathon is seeing all the amazing solutions that people have come up with to battle cybersecurity, and that is amazing.
Thanks, everyone. Back to you, Lucy. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Yarima, Zainab, and Hackergal. So great to see everyone at Notre Dame. It sounds like you've all been super busy. Coming up next is Hackergal's Coding Club from Mount View Alternative School. They're coming to us live from Runnymede Collegiate Institute in Toronto, Ontario. We're featuring our very own Kimiko and Shiara at this coding club. This coding club is led by our Hackergal ambassador, Stella, with the support of her champion teacher, Miss Christina Kemp. We're also very excited to welcome Deidre Fedrick, a woman in tech from CIBC, who will be providing a keynote live from the school. Welcome to the virtual stage. Please take it away, girls.
Awesome. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much, Lucy. I am Kamiko, and I am the Director of Operations at Hackergal. I am so excited to be here on site at a school, and I'm here with my wonderful teammates.
Hi everyone, my name is Shiara and I run the social media at Hackergal. I'm so excited to be here today with Mount View Alternative School at Runnymede Collegiate Institute. Say hi everyone.
Say a little louder. They are yelling in the library. I would like to start by respectfully acknowledging that we gather on the lands of the Mississauga of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. We also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. I am so thankful to introduce one of our very own Hackergal ambassadors, Stella, and she'll be leading the next part of our spotlight.
Hi, my name is Stella and I'm a first year ambassador at Hackergal. Hackergal was an incredible experience on so many levels. What I loved the most was seeing the spark of curiosity and excitement light up in the eyes of these young girls during every session. What sets Hackergal apart is its focus on inclusivity and diversity, and just giving girls early exposure to coding and technology while also bridging the gender gap. Overall, being an ambassador was incredibly rewarding because it allowed me to be a part of something bigger, a collective. It was about inspiring the next generation of coders, and I would like to thank the Hackergal learners, Miss Cap, my champion, Zainab, obviously the program coordinator, Kylie, who is no longer with us, but she also was there a lot for me, and obviously Chiara and Kamiko. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Stella. So it is my special pleasure, without any further ado, to introduce Deidre from one of our incredible sponsors, CIBC, who contributes in a big way to Hackergal's national growth. Deidre is here with us today to meet all of you virtually and to share her story. Over to you, Deidre.
Thank you. All right, before I introduce myself, can I just say how cool it is to be here at an all-girls hackathon? It is phenomenal, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. So, my name is Deidre Frederick, and I'm a digital product owner. It's honestly just a fancy way of saying I work on building really cool stuff and solving complex problems. I have a question for everyone in the chat. Have you ever heard of a digital product owner? And if not that role, tell me some of the tech roles that you've heard of before. So today, why am I here? Why did you invite me here? So today I honestly came because I wanted to share my journey with you in hopes to inspire you to keep going, especially when things get tough. My phone background, it's interesting, but my phone background says, if it exists, I can have it. And this is just a daily reminder that honestly, I can do anything I put my mind to, and anything is possible if I work hard enough and stay resilient. So when I was actually your age, my parents thought I'd be a lawyer just because of how much I liked to argue. But unfortunately, I didn't go into law and I went into business instead. Once I graduated, I went into and I worked for the bank to be a recruiter. So I was hiring for roles and I thought that this was going to be my forever job. But turns out things changed and I really wanted to do something different. One day while helping a colleague hire for a role, I came across the digital product role. And so many like you who may not know what this is, I became obsessed. I was researching, I was looking at videos, I was looking on Twitter. Well, for me at that time, it was Twitter. I guess for you all, it's X now. But essentially, I was working really hard to get to know what this role was all about. But actually, after that, I started applying for some of these roles. And unfortunately, I kept being told that I didn't have enough skill sets, I didn't have the necessary background, and I just wasn't ready for a product owner role. And to be honest, at first, I was defeated. I actually ended up giving up for a while, and I didn't pursue it anymore just because of how defeated I felt. But deep down, I knew that I didn't want to settle and I didn't want to give up on my dream. So I reached out to even more people. And eventually, I actually connected with my current manager and I asked him for a meeting. In that meeting, I told him I didn't have the product background. I didn't have any technical skills, but I was going to be the hardest working person on his team. I told him that I promised to go to all my meetings and take notes. I promised that I would get help from my colleagues. I promised him that I'd read more books, I'd watch more videos, and I would do what necessary to be the best in that role. So in the chat, do you guys think that he gave me the job? I'm interested to see. But yes, he actually did, and he took a chance on me. And today I get to speak at hackathons, I mentor co-ops, and essentially I get to share my passion for product, digital, and technology. I'm proud to inspire you all to not give up and to keep trying. The journey is not always going to be easy, but every setback taught me something. You know, there was definitely moments where I wanted to give up and felt and questioned my abilities, but I kept reminding myself of the ultimate goal and I kept pushing forward. The keys to success is not giving up, no matter how hard things get. Put in the time, put in the effort, and create a plan. Your journey might have tough spots, and that's okay. It matters if you get up and keep going. You're here because you love coding and you love technology and you want to make amazing things. The world needs your creativity. So don't let anyone or anything make you doubt yourself. Resilience means getting back up after every fall. So that means that every challenge is going to make you stronger. So keep going, keep growing, and keep learning. So ladies, thank you all so much for having me speak here. And can we just say wave goodbye one last time? Well, Lucy, thank you guys so much, and it's back to you.
Wow, thank you so much, Deidre. Your words stuck with me. I think it's so powerful to say that if it does exist, you can have it. We're definitely going to hang our hat on that one. Thank you so much, Deidre. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Kimiko. Thank you, Shiara. And a big shout out to all of the learners at Mountain View Alternative School and Runnymede Collegiate Institute for your dedication throughout this year's hackathon. That was so impressive. Now it's so wonderful that we get to check in with so many passionate coders from coast to coast. It's really these communities that make Hackergal a beautiful place to be. I can't wait to hear more about their work and how their coding projects turn out.
Thanks so much, Lucy, and agreed to all of the above. What an amazing speech and so motivational. It's great that we get a chance to hear from everybody. And we're going to hear from even more inspirational women in tech. How lucky are we at our incredible career fair, which starts now. So you all have this special exclusive ticket to this amazing opportunity to meet women in tech who can inspire you, who can give you ideas about what you want to do when you grow up, and maybe even get you thinking about, hey, what kind of courses do I need to take in high school to do those kinds of things in the real, professional world? So we can't wait to introduce these women to you. It's your chance to be able to ask them questions. So like Lucy mentioned earlier, if you have any burning questions about what it's like to be a woman in tech, how they got to where they are today, what advice they might have for you if you're curious about exploring a career in tech, use the chat. We'll be looking at it. I'll be keeping my eye on it, trying to keep track of those questions, and we'll make sure they're answered live today by our career fair guests. This is a really amazing opportunity, and we hope that all the Hacker Gals out there take full advantage. Teachers, make sure you're close to the keyboard. Facilitators, make sure you're close to the keyboard. Those tuning in who are on their own at home, feel free to do the same. Let us see what your questions are in the chat. Nous sommes ravis de vous présenter le Salon de l'Emploi d'aujourd'hui, une occasion pour les apprenantes de rencontrer des femmes qui travaillent actuellement dans le secteur de la technologie. Now let me introduce our career fair guests. And we're going to start with our first career fair guest, the very special Heather Anderson, who is a senior accessibility and user experience software engineer, what a title, at Coconut Software. Her job is to make the web a more accessible place for all kinds of people, particularly those with disabilities. Using skills in design, user experience, and coding, she's able to make web applications available to people that are blind or with low vision, deaf, or have neurological differences like ADHD or dyslexia. As a programmer, she has worked in many different coding languages. So keep your ears peeled. Maybe you have some questions to ask her about those coding languages, and many different industries, including financial services and video games. Heather travaille pour Coconut Software en tant qu'ingénieure d'accessibilité et d'expérience de l'utilisateur senior. Son travail consiste à rendre le web plus accessible et inclusif à tous. Cela comprend des personnes aveugles ou présentant de TDAH ou la dyslexie. Elle a travaillé dans de nombreux langages de codage et dans les secteurs de services financiers et les jeux vidéo. While Heather is presenting, remember to put your questions for her in the chat, and we'll be having a nice Q&A session right after her speech, just like with every other career fair guest we have today. Super exciting. So thank you so much for being here today, Heather. I'm going to ask you to share your presentation with the group and can't wait to hear what you have to say to us.
Well, hello. Thanks, Rebecca. And hello, everybody. Merci à vous. Merci à l'équipe organisatrice de m'avoir invité. I am really excited to be here. I also can't believe that we have hackathons that are full of gals. Like this is truly special. I'm super honored to have the chance to be chatting with all of you and to be part of this amazing week full of code and learning and fun. It's pretty unreal to think that some of these clubs have actually doubled in size from last year too. So clearly, we're all doing something right here. So je m'appelle Heather. My name is Heather, and I'm coming to you from the beautiful Sunshine Coast, BC, which is located on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. It's about a 40-minute ride by boat from Vancouver. Yes, I actually take a boat to get back to Vancouver. My favorite hobbies are riding bikes, all kinds of bikes, mountain bikes and road bikes. And I love playing with my dog. He's a 3-year-old border collie named Red, and he told me to say hi to all of you, by the way. So I work at a company called Coconut Software as a senior accessibility and user experience engineer, and I think it is the best job in the world. The accessibility part of my job means that I get to work with code every day to ensure that the websites and products that my company makes can be used by all kinds of people with a range of abilities and disabilities. So for example, people that are blind or have low vision might use a program called a screen reader to help them access, content on the web. So what a screen reader does is it reads the page out to you, kind of using audio. And so my job is to make sure that the softwares that we make can be understood by those screen readers to make sure that everybody has access to this content. So it's a very equitable experience for all kinds of people. Les lecteurs d'écran agissent comme un narrateur qui vous parle d'un site web à haute voix. Et mon travail est d'assurer que le code que nous écrivons peut être compris par les lecteurs d'écran afin que tout le monde puisse utiliser nos produits, peu importe la manière dont il accède au contenu. And the other part of my job is a user experience developer. Now, that is a big title. Like, what does that mean? Well, really, it means I get to make the web easier to use. So me and my team are thinking of the entire experience that you might have on a website or using an application. So making sure that, all of the buttons are in the right place. Are they the right shape, size, color? Are they there all the time? What if you're looking at it on a phone? What if you're looking at it, using a screen reader, making sure that we have like captions on video, those kinds of things. So it's really thinking about the psychology of all the different types of people that might be using your products. I've been a programmer for over 10 years now. When I started, it was before programs like Lynx or Scratch. C'était avant l'invention des programmes comme Lynx ou Scratch. And I didn't get a computer science degree. And in fact, I have very little formal programming training. We didn't have coding classes at my high school or elementary school, but that is okay. I started to make little websites. And in fact, I remember I've always loved to draw and doodle. And so the first time that I took a doodle and a drawing and I was able to get it up on a website, I kid you not, the moment that that happened and I saw it on the interweb, I was hooked. I knew that I had to know more about what this world is, and I've never stopped. And it turns out that I actually like the coding part of it more than the, designing part of it. But that kind of that passion for seeing something change on the screen, and then I started to use CSS to make it do things and animate, and it's so interesting for me. So but when I started, I definitely didn't know what I was doing. All of the code that I was writing was sort of copied or or inspired by things that I was seeing online, and I made every mistake in the book. I think I've made every mistake in the book, but if you keep at it, things start to make more sense. The things that I was making started to be more interesting, had more graphics, more functionality, um, and were therefore kind of more useful or more practical. And over the years, I've been lucky enough to work in some really cool jobs. I once worked on a digital art installation for a big museum in New York called the Museum of Modern Art. I've also worked at a video game company helping to support making games like Madden or FIFA or The Sims. I've come to love working with code, like in my day-to-day tasks, using technology to solve problems. And also a career in programming means that I get to work with really cool, really smart people along the way. And in particular, I love to use code because I've always loved to be hands-on with the things that I'm doing, to actually be the one working with those details. I love languages, but I also like to be the one kind of implementing it. And I love to make things that are both practical and beautiful. So I find that programming can give me that intersection of those two things, à la fois amusante à utiliser, mais aussi pratique. And a lot has changed in the world of technology since I started programming, especially in the area of cybersecurity, which I know is the topic that you've all been thinking about this week. So while personally I don't focus on cybersecurity in my career, throughout my past jobs, I've gotten the chance to learn a couple of things about guarding software and systems against certain kinds of threats. And so, in the spirit of this awesome hackathon, and kind of energized and inspired by all the work that you've been putting in this week, I also thought I would make a project this week. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to demonstrate a one type of hack, actually, that tries to trick its users to do something that they didn't know they were doing. So je partagerai mon écran. I'm just going to share my screen here. And while I'm going through this demo, I would like everybody to see if they can spot the trap. See if you can spot the trick. All right, can I get a thumbs up if you can see a blue screen with a penguin on it? I think that's a yes. Great. Okay, so here is a game about a penguin named Peggy, okay? So Peggy Penguin lives in Antarctica, obviously, where penguins come from. She loves romantic waddles by frozen lakes, munching on seal-flavored candies, and also loves to take naps inside her refrigerator because she's a penguin. So the purpose of this game is to get Peggy through the course around all the obstacles. You can't hit even a single obstacle or she'll fall to the ground and die. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I got this jump button. Looks like Peggy's going. We're going. Watch out for the burgers and the ice cream cones, which are native to Antarctica. I don't know if you know that. I just made it up. What? I spent so much time making this game, I did not practice it very much. Let's try that one more time. There's her refrigerator. She takes many naps in there. Does anything look out of order here? Is anything suspicious? Oh, I hit the pop can. I haven't been able to make it very far in this game. I need to practice more. But this is pretty cool, right? And it seems pretty innocent, doesn't it? So what if I changed this one thing up here? It's now got an orange box on top of most of the screen, obscuring especially that jump button. So what is this? This is an orange box. I couldn't see it before, and so I was just playing the game like normal. But it turns out that there is this button on top of the jump button that I couldn't see. And every time that I'm actually clicking on the jump button, I'm clicking on this orange box as well, without even knowing it. So what does this button do? Well, luckily this one doesn't do anything. But what if you were accidentally clicking follow on a stranger's social media account, right? What if you accidentally followed somebody you didn't know on Instagram and now they can see information about you, look at your content, maybe find out things about your family or friends or even where you live. Quelqu'un pourrait peut-être copier vos devoirs ou autre chose sur son ordinateur. Or what if every time you clicked, they were trying to use data from your browser to initiate a bank transfer and actually steal money from your bank account stored in your browser? Or the scariest one is maybe they were trying to turn on your camera or microphone without you knowing it. So it is insanely scary. This technique is called clickjacking, and it's really sneaky. It tricks people into interacting with an element that they didn't expect to be interacting with. So as programmers, we can learn to become aware of these techniques and put safeguards in place to stop people from being victims of exploits just like this. And there are thousands of people all around the world doing this work today. And just like you, they want to make the online space safer and better for everyone. The things that you're learning this week will make it possible for you to be part of this group, able to design and shape the world that you want to see, whether that's specifically in cybersecurity or not. Things like studying computer science, digital design, programming, product design, video gameplay design, data science. Each of these disciplines are great ways to use your computer skills in positive ways. So again, for myself, I don't focus on cybersecurity, but there are still lots of small things that I can do every day to keep the web a little bit safer. And I'm so grateful to get to use code and technology at work every day to solve real problems for real people and also have some fun along the way. So, Hacker Gals, merci de m'avoir invité ici aujourd'hui. Thank you for having me. I can't wait to see all the awesome projects, games, and collaborations that y'all cooked up this week. And we'll see you out on the interwebs. Thank you so much.
Wow, wonderful. Merci, Heather. Thank you, Heather. Let's get a virtual round of applause for Heather's speech, but also the awesome game that she created. I know I'm kind of blown away by that. We're mindful of time, so we've only got the time for a couple of questions. We had some great ones coming through the chat. I think that one that is maybe top of mind for people is how do you spot this kind of trick, this trying to, get you to click on something, what's the secret in trying to protect yourself in this way?
Well, these things are designed to not be detected, and that makes it really difficult. So, as was mentioned before, a good thing to start off with is you can't trust things at face value, right? There are people trying to do nefarious things all the time, and online makes it really easy. And so one of the things to do is to educate yourself as much as you can and kind of stay up to date with some of these things. And if you start to get into the technology space as a professional, you can start to really learn more about how they're doing this. And it's evolving all the time. The example that I gave today, clickjacking, was a real problem about 10 years ago. There was a big company that had this exploit implemented on one of their sites by an external source that was trying
Really?
to gain access to their camera and microphones of their users through their settings
Oh my
page.
goodness.
And people had no idea this was happening. And so while this specific example does have pretty good safeguards in place now by browser technologies and other softwares that now know about this and have made this not as much of a big deal as it used to be. There are new things coming up all of the time. As you know, the forefront of technology is just it's like a train and you're not going to stop and there's always new things. So it's about learning as much as you can, but having that critical voice to say, is this real? Does this make sense? And then doing some just a little bit of checking about the sources of information of what you're reading or what you're interacting with can go a long way.
Totally. Just having that second thought of thinking, before I click, I think I'm just going to double check something before I click on this offer that seems too good to be true, or,
Yep.
it's just having that second thought. That's great. And I think another question I'll ask is about coding languages. So you mentioned that use coding languages in your work. Which ones do you use most often, just for our keen coders out there to hear what you're using on a day-to-day basis?
Keen coders are my people. So primarily I am a front-end developer, so JavaScript, HTML, and CSS.
Mhm.
In the accessibility world, HTML and really detailed HTML, like a really like dense, not dense, like a really deep knowledge of HTML is really important. And so JavaScript is my primary coding language, but I have worked in PHP and Java and Python. I've done a little bit of C++, working sort of around the video games industry. Those are some of those tools that are used there. But I've played around with making an iOS application as well, using Swift or Go or Rust, things like this. So even if you don't become an expert in it, once you know one language, it does get easier to learn another one because they all need if or else statements. They all need to define variables or, like things that don't change. They all have those similarities. And so once you learn one, like in the ideas of how one works, then you just need to figure out how the next one does it. And it becomes a lot easier over, yeah. So primarily JavaScript, but there's maybe another language coming up in the near future that we'll all get to learn too. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's also a very good point. Who knows in 10 years' time what the languages will be, right? That's fantastic. Well, we'll have to move on to our next career fair, I guess, but I just wanted to give you another huge thank you, Heather. Obviously, you put a lot of heart and soul into what you delivered today, and the mission of making sure people stay safe online is one that you felt deeply, and I really appreciate you putting the work in and being able to show this exciting game to the learners out there. There are some lovely comments in the chat, so I would encourage you to go to them and maybe refer to them to like boost your confidence in terms of what you're doing and your impact, and also being able to look through some of the questions that maybe we didn't get a chance to answer, but we can return to maybe just in the chat. But thank you so much, Heather. A huge thank you from the Hackergal team and all of us across Canada tuning in today.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you out there. Good luck.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Heather. We're going to move on to our next career fair guest. So are you all ready? We have another amazing woman in tech to learn from today. We're just keeping it coming. We're keeping you interested. We're keeping you exposed to these amazing people you can learn from. So again, please keep the questions coming in the chat. I know there were some I didn't get to. We'll be able to keep track of them as we go along and do our best to answer each one of them. So I'm going to now welcome our second career fair guest, Migrakshi Goel from Finning. Migrakshi Goel is an accomplished cybersecurity professional with nearly a decade of expertise. She holds a master's in cybersecurity from the New York Institute of Technology and is currently serving as an information security engineer at Finning International. She excels in identifying and mitigating vulnerabilities across cloud platforms and has delivered talks at events in Vancouver and Calgary. So shout out to the West Coast for everyone tuning in from BC and Alberta today. She is committed to mentoring and knowledge sharing within the cybersecurity community, and I would love to welcome her to the stage now. So please take it away, Migrakshi. We can't wait to hear from you. Everyone keep their comments coming. Oh, you're just on mute, Migrakshi.
Thanks, Rebecca, and thanks everyone for having me here today. Even if my coming here today makes a difference to one person, I'll be really grateful. I just wanted to know, I don't have the sharing option. Did you, can you just give me that?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so maybe we'll get someone behind the scenes to just give Migrakshi the sharing function for the presentation. I think
Okay,
one of my
I have it.
colleagues. Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I
you go.
got it now. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen and I hope you can see my presentation.
Looks great.
Yeah, looks great. So hi everyone, and yeah, as I said, I'm really excited to speak to you all. It's really a great opportunity to see young girls coming into cybersecurity, and yeah, so let's get started. I think cybersecurity is a really great field. I had a huge, I had a huge career in a different field in IT before cybersecurity, but currently I'm working at Finning as a cybersecurity engineer. I get to know what people in my network are doing, what everybody in the infrastructure is doing, and how employees are interacting with each other and people from outside our network. So I'm just going to share a little bit about myself before diving deep into how my experiences can make a change in your life. I did a master's degree in BC, and I spoke at various events. I spoke at mentoring events. I spoke at B-Sides. It is a security event. There's one woman in cybersecurity event where we share about each other lives, who people who are working in cybersecurity and other women who are working in cybersecurity. And I have researched different cybersecurity bugs, like bug crowd. And there are companies that can take the bugs and can process them. And then they reward you based on what bugs you found. So I'm going to speak more about it later. And I worked at a company called Buckcrowd as a triager. I worked at another company as a pen tester. Pen tester is a field where you find different issues like clickjacking. Heather just pointed out in the last presentation that is one of the bug that you can find in softwares. So similarly, there are more senior people that can find a lot of different bugs in different softwares and then work on resolving them with people who develop those bugs. So currently I work at Finning, similar kind of work, more of like monitoring what's happening plus pen testing, and so deep into cybersecurity. And here's something I feel that I can suggest people over here as to enter the field of cybersecurity. As young girls, we can do a lot of things. So, daily reading is very important. We want to see what's happening in the hacking community. In your questions, we see that we talked about how there are 100 million lost into 2021. And today, the figure might be even more than 500 million. Reading hacking news and reading about what's happening in cybersecurity is really, really important as a young person. And when you grow, as you grow older, you will have more knowledge of what's happening. You can create your own YouTube channel, kind of. You can do things to show other people that you are doing good in cybersecurity and you're working in cybersecurity. And you can do some kind of bug bounty hunting as young people. And those kind of careers don't require a degree. Starting on early in cybersecurity is a great, great thing that people don't maybe value enough. But as young people also, you can search for crowdsourced bug hunting programs where you can find the similar kind of issues in softwares. And later on, you can make a career by going to more of cybersecurity events while you're in college or while you're studying more in cybersecurity. And you can always write your own blogs or make YouTube channels. There's definitely no looking back. Once you start doing that, you get more involved in the community. So I wanted to show you all how we start finding these issues um, in softwares. So there's a small difference between what actual functionality of software is and what the intended functionality is. So the small difference is where all the bugs come. The actual functionality seems to be a little bit different than what was really intended initially, and that's the way of thinking as a security engineer. Well, all my advice is based on start building your career early on, and which is why the motivation of Hackergal conference is there for you all. is that you can build your career early on. These are some of the platforms that you can look up and uh, look up and see if you can hunt something. They will always welcome you. You don't need to be any age or have a degree to register for these platforms. Maybe I can go back and you can take a screenshot or a picture of. So these are the top places where you can start a little bit of hunting, and if you can uh, start to think about finding vulnerabilities, reporting something, or you also get some rewards on it, by the way. Yeah, so it's really nice if you would ever. So there are some certifications that you can think of doing later on, and these are all just knowing kind of stuff. You can know more about um, how to find these bugs and what kind of bugs can you find. There are certifications based on them. Yeah, that's all. Thank you, everyone. I'm here for all your questions.
Wow, thank you so much, Mika. Actually, we have so much great content to dig into. You were
Yeah.
able to share so many great tips, and you also had some great suggestions in terms of those platforms to check out and advice for our hacker gals. So we have time for maybe 1.5 or 1 to 2 questions, and we'll see how it goes. But I
Yeah,
think I'll ask
sure.
one just to start in terms of your job in cybersecurity. What is your favorite thing about working in cybersecurity? What makes you happy about working in cybersecurity?
Yeah. The best thing about working in cybersecurity is that you get to know new things every single day. But there's a pro and cons of everything. So if you don't like a career where you will learn something every single day, then don't come in it. Like, if you will be challenged every single day and you will be learning new things every single day, because patterns of attackers keep changing. They are not the same, and attackers also find new ways to attack your network, attack your softwares, and basically enter your company's infrastructure, and then maybe theft something, maybe take away your customers data. Their
Mhm.
aim is to get to your customers data, maybe get their credit cards, maybe get their sensitive information like phone numbers, emails, or and then misuse them, maybe sell it on another platform
Mhm.
to more crazy hackers.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So
So
you
the
always
the
have to
best
keep ahead
part,
of it. Yeah.
yeah, you always have to keep ahead of it. So the best part is learning every day. Yeah,
I
or no
love
doubt.
that. That's wonderful. So you're clearly a learner. That's great. All of us probably have that same headspace. But one tiny question with maybe a quick response is just wondering, when it comes to watching trends and keeping updated on what's going on in the world of cybersecurity, is there like a website or a platform that you use to keep updated, or do you just search on Google, like news,
Yeah.
cybersecurity?
Yeah. So currently, there's one Hacker News platform that is like a nice one. But definitely keep searching the web is a good idea, because there will be new platforms created. It is still a new field, and I'm glad that you have this kind of community for girls at some schools, but it is still new, as in the whole community is new. The even women in cybersecurity for older people, that's also new.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that there will be more news platforms coming in. So searching is not a bad idea. But HackerOne, Hacktivity, that is where I see a lot of bugs, new bugs coming up, and Hacker News and Beeping Computer. There are two. These are two websites where I read a lot of news.
That would be great if you could pop them in the chat. There are also some other great questions we can have the time to get to, but lots of good feedback for you, and really appreciate your time today and your perspective, particularly for all these young learners out there who might be interested in taking on cybersecurity as a career. So thank you so much for being here, and we're going to give you a chance to say your final goodbye before we move on to our next career guest.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for inviting me. I'd be happy to even talk to anybody on LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn. Yeah, so feel free to reach out to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd be definitely happy to mentor anybody who's interested.
That is an amazing offer, and you just wait. Your inbox is going to be flooded if you put your link in there. Why don't you put your link to your LinkedIn in the chat as well, and we'll leave you to connect with everybody in the chat now. Thank you so much for being here, Mrugakshi.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you soon. We're going to move on. You know, we're so many great conversations happening. We're going to move on to our next career fair guest. This is our final career fair guest, and she's very special. We're very happy to have her here, Sandeep Sandhu from Rogers. So Sandeep is the Vice President of Cybersecurity at Rogers and Chief Information Security Officer at Rogers Bank. Wow. She's helping keep Canadians safe online every day. Sandeep won the 2023 Women of the Year Award for her amazing work in cybersecurity and helping the community. With over 20 years of experience, Sandeep has helped create cybersecurity programs to train the next generation of women and non-binary leaders. Sandeep focuses on helping great teams work together and promotes diversity in cyber leadership. She loves to find creative ways to make her team successful, so we can't wait to hear all about that. Please put your questions in the chat. We'll get to as many as we can, and we are very excited to welcome Sandeep today. Thank you so much for being here, Sandeep, and take it away.
Thank you, Rebecca, and hello to all the hacker gals out there across the country. I am super excited. I've been listening to all the great speakers today, and you all have inspired me, all the students in the classroom, and all of you speaking here today. Thank you to the entire Hackergal organization. You're doing really great work, and you're making a difference, not only for the next generation of cybersecurity heroes, but even for people like me who've been at it for a while. So I know all of you have worked really hard this week in your coding projects. You've taken a risk, you were brave, and you're part of this group and this organization. So congratulations to all of you for completing the 13th annual hackathon. You should give yourselves a big round of applause because it's never easy, but I'm glad you're all having fun while you're doing it. I'm so excited to speak here with all of you today, especially because this year's theme is cybersecurity heroes securing our future. That is very near and dear to my heart. As Rebecca mentioned, I'm the VP of Cybersecurity at Rogers Communications. Some of you may know what that is. We own a few radio stations, a couple of radio channels on TV, plus if you have one of these, you might be using Rogers. So cybersecurity is super important to me. And just like you, I started pretty young in all the STEM type of subjects, and at the time it was STEM, and I think now it's evolved to STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And all of those subjects are really important in the field of cybersecurity because we're looking for people who are always different in the way that they think, whether they're different in the way they're coding and the way they communicate and how they learn. Those are all the skills that we typically look for. So when I was young, I've had parents that were wonderful and teachers and not organizations like this, but parents and teachers that kind of helped support me and encourage me to try new things. I think I was in grade 9 when my dad gave me my very first computer. It was one of the big ones. You can ask your parents, you probably know what it looks like. And then he gave me the computer and he said, go learn something, Sandeep. Figure out how these things work. How does it work? And that's exactly what I did when I was younger. And I had teachers that were constantly telling me to try new subjects, even though they're comfortable. And even if you don't do well, don't give up, keep going at it. And that's kind of what's been my theme throughout my entire life and how I kind of eventually ended up in cybersecurity. Fast forward today, almost everyone on the planet uses technology in one shape or form. All of you do. It's the way we talk. It's the way we do business. It's the way we buy things. It's the way we entertain each other. Technology is really important in the way that we work today. So it's important that we keep it secure. And unfortunately, when we have these things in technology, there are bad guys on the internet. There are folks and organizations that do things that are not so great. And some of the team mentioned this earlier on today, whether it's stealing identities, stealing money, causing fraud, cyberbullying, all those things happen. So it's important that we have the right people protecting all of us. And I have the privilege of leading hundreds of cybersecurity heroes across Rogers. And all my heroes come in different shapes and sizes, and they all have different backgrounds, talents, and skills. They wake up every morning and they use many of their skills, including coding, which is what you all are doing here, to help protect our information, our data, our privacy, and keep our country safe. We all work together, and our mission is to keep our customers, Rogers customers, and Canadians safe. I have incredible cybersecurity heroes on my team, so I thought I'd give you a little example of some of what some of them do. So one of my team members is Monica, and she is a senior cybersecurity specialist on our digital forensics team. So what is digital forensics? Digital forensics is the cool science of using computer skills and technology to solve cyber crimes and figure out what happens in digital mysteries. This is her job. So she looks for digital footprints and pieces clues together on what happened. And she's almost like a cyber detective. She looks at lots and lots of data. She uses coding to help her navigate, and uses lots of different types of tools to kind of piece puzzles together and solve the mystery of what happened. So this is Monica. She's just one of my folks in the security operations centers. I also have someone by the name of Stacy on my team. Stacy is a cybersecurity manager on awareness and education. Her job is slightly different from Monica's, because what she does is make sure, how do you teach people about cybersecurity? How do you educate people about why is it important for you to understand about being safe and secure online? So she gets to use all sorts of technology and make a lot of training videos, a lot of gaming videos, and she even gets the opportunity to work with some of our TV hosts and our radio personalities to kind of make cybersecurity important. And you can catch some of her work on Rogers.com if you have a chance to go see it there. You'll see some of the stuff that Stacy's done. And these are just two examples of incredible women on our team that never really studied necessarily all the things of coding, but ended up using all different sorts of skills to come into the field of cybersecurity. And they are some of our heroes. So my message to all of you, what can you do now to prepare yourselves for an exciting career, fingers crossed, in cybersecurity? Stay curious, right? Keep doing what you're doing. And whether it's coding, whether it's supporting other types of technology, whether it's doing the great work that Deidre was talking about earlier, and Meenakshi, and then even Heather, whether it's any of those fields that you're interested in, all of those apply in cybersecurity. So as long as you stay curious and keep learning, it'll help you. And also try new things, whether it's coding, engineering, learning how to write in a way that's technical and that people can understand it. All these things are going to help you in the future. And I encourage you to try new things, even though sometimes you may necessarily not do well at it, and it may be frustrating, and can be challenging and sometimes disappointing. Don't give up. Be brave, take the risk, and keep going. And before I end, I wanted you to all remember that there's a whole world of exciting career possibilities ahead of you. You're at a great time, and you're part of great organizations like Hackergals. So the future is exciting for all of you. So I'm glad that you're part of this. You have proven you all have what it takes to be cybersecurity rock stars this week. So keep doing what you're doing. Remember to stay curious, try new things, and don't give up. Remember, not all heroes wear capes. Some of them look like us, and some of them use technologies to keep Canadians secure and safe. So thank you to Hackergals, and I'm open to questions.
I love that. Not all heroes wear capes. Very important to remember. And I love your encouragement of people to just try new things. Try it out, give it a shot, and don't give up. I love that so much. It's a really important message. We have only time for one question, but it's a good one, Sandeep. So I'll give you that. So our question is, what emerging technologies or trends do you think will have the biggest impact on cybersecurity in the near future? So what are the biggest trends out there that we should keep our eyes on?
That's a great question. I think, and there's lots out there, right? I mean, I think a lot of you might be hearing things about artificial intelligence or generative AI and how that's making a difference. We've had artificial intelligence as a technology, which is really just program code that takes logic and gives an answer to it, right? We've had that for over 50 years. And what generative AI basically does is use that same program code or language, solves a problem, but now it learns. And this is at the most simplest level. So I think that's exciting because That'll open up the world to different types of businesses and how we do different business models. How do we buy things online? How do we share information online? There's a lot of roles to help support businesses, but equally on the cybersecurity side, it's important that there's the right people to protect any of that getting stolen or breached, or any of our privacy being impacted by that. So we need people to protect that type of technology. So we can use AI when it's out there, and if the bad guys use, or the threat actors use artificial intelligence to kind of break into organizations or do things that they shouldn't be doing, our cybersecurity heroes can also use AI to combat and be the defenders of that. So that's just one of many, but I encourage all of you to just be curious and look for all sorts of things, whether it's programming and or others. Just keep learning and reading. I think that's where it starts. And the goal is how to solve problems. And all the folks here today are doing just that, and just keep thinking like that, and then we'll get you into this field.
Problem solving is such an important and transferable skill no matter what industry you're in, right? It always helps you in your back pocket. That's great advice. Thank you so much, Cindy, for saying all those wonderful things, for inspiring our Hacker Gals, and for being with us here today. We really appreciate it. And we'll have to say our farewell to Cindy for now, but there are lots of comments in the chat. I'm sure you can have some fun looking through them in a little bit. And we will just say thank you so much sincerely for being here today with us.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, fantastic. So that's amazing. It is such a great experience. I know I learned a lot. We're going to keep moving forward because we have still a little bit more to get through. I know we have some questions in the chat about coding projects. We promise you we'll get to that. For now, we're going to move on. I'm going to pass it back over to Lucy to take us forward to the next section of our presentation.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Now, it really is my honor and pleasure to introduce our next speaker, the recipient of the 2024 Hackergal and Fasken Inspire Scholarship. Naya is currently a grade 12 student at Runnymede Collegiate Institute. She is a former Hackergal ambassador from 2021 to 2022 who is empowered to change the world of STEM as a university student next year. She has big plans for the future, and we can't wait to see them come to life. Naya, it's so great to see you here. Please join me in welcoming Naya to our virtual stage.
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Naya, and today I'm here to discuss the journey of how I went from a shy kid with no programming skills into someone who is able to speak in front of crowds and knows almost 6 programming languages. In 9th grade, I took computer science with no programming knowledge whatsoever. Throughout the course, I picked up on the basics, and by 10th grade, I found myself really enjoying it. I liked how creative coding is, but everyone's code looks different, and how my code is uniquely mine. My teacher, Ms. Kemp, noticed the spark of my ambition and encouraged me to join the Hackergal Ambassador program. Having frequent group sessions where I not only learned how to code a new language, but also learned how to communicate with others really was the highlight of my experience as an ambassador. Sharing my projects and leading a coding club brought me outside of my shell and is honestly the reason why I'm able to speak with all of you today. Learning coding through Hackergal taught me that there is a pattern to coding that is true for no matter what language it is. Being able to recognize these patterns has made me a much better programmer and has made it easier for me to learn other languages. The ability to teach someone how to code really proves how much you understand the language, and in doing so in Hackergal really helped me to gain confidence in my coding abilities. Being a scholarship recipient is such an honor because it proves how my personal growth really paid off. It especially means a lot to receive this scholarship from Hackergal because thanks to them, I really began to see coding as a career in the future. As for my future in coding, I plan to attend university in either a computer science or engineering program. My advice to all of you would be that challenges are signs of learning opportunities, not failure. Don't be afraid to ask for support, and if you like it, learn until your heart's content. Perseverance is one of the most important skills a person can have because it leads to growth. If you give up on something because you find it hard, you're losing the opportunity to learn and instead accepting failure. Your community is your greatest ally, whether it be your friends or family or anyone that supports you. If you ever need help with coding or finding resources, speak with your community because they will always support you no matter what. Lastly, coding is a field that's ever growing. There's always something for you to learn. There's always something new for you to learn. So if you enjoy it, keep at it. Programming is the way of the future, and the world is always looking for more ambitious programmers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naya, for sharing your story. You really are an inspiration to so many girls across Canada. I loved what you shared about the challenges and how you've changed your perspective to think of them as learning opportunities. You know, that's something we strive to do at Hackergal, and I know coding can sometimes be really difficult, but we learn from our failures and celebrate challenges. We are so honored to have you here, and once again, congratulations to you and Rumaiza for being the 2024 recipients of the Hackergal and Baskins Inspire Scholarship. To all of our Hackergal participants, if you are interested in becoming a Hackergal ambassador for the 2024-2025 school year, applications will be opening very soon, so please stay tuned to our social media channels and website for updates. Michelle will drop the link in the chat if you want to learn more about the ambassador program.
I just put in the chat, I wish I could be an ambassador because it's true. It's such a fun program and you get to meet awesome people like Naya and Rameza, and hopefully there'll be a lot of Hacker Gals today submitting their applications this summer. Can't wait to see that. Now, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to our keynote speaker for today's event, Véronique Poulin. Véronique is an associate in Fasken's emerging technology group working in both Ontario and Quebec. She is an accomplished lawyer stationed at the firm's Toronto office. Véronique has established herself as a trusted bilingual advisor in both provinces. Outside of work, she enjoys cooking, spending time with her puppy, Ellie, and spending time outdoors in Blue Mountain. So thank you so much for being here with us today, Véronique. Take it away.
Thank you, Rebecca. So, hi everyone, bonjour à tous. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Un grand merci pour l'accueil chaleureux. First and foremost, thank you to the Hackergal team for hosting this wonderful event, and congratulations to all the learners for participating in this event. It's truly wonderful to see the amount of girls that are involved in this. I wish I had this type of event when I was your age, and so congratulations. So I want to start off by first talking about what it is I do and how it relates to you girls today. So I'm first and foremost a corporate lawyer. And so you might be wondering, what does that mean? So at the core, I help people start businesses, but I specialize in a very particular field, and that is the field of startups and technology companies. So I help a lot of people with if they found a solution to the age-old question of how can I do this better? And I help them build a business surrounding that so they can also help other people with that problem. So it's a very exciting area. The people that I encounter are very passionate, they're very creative. They're looking to start the next big company that could end up being, the next Google, the next Snapchat, the next Instagram. And so helping them start those companies and skyrocket is extremely rewarding. Now, in my practice, I do encounter a lot of women who are in, science and technology and engineering and medicine. I encounter women ranging from, geneticists who are helping people have access to their genetic information. I help chemists who might be facilitating access to medication in rural areas. I have a client who's developing hardware to measure apple growth in farms. I have clients that are helping develop, stick-on nails or products for their dogs, or even women that are developing cybersecurity and privacy companies. So I do encounter kind of the wide range of spectrum and businesses that are started by women. And what a lot of them have in common is that, they've maybe left the security of their job that they had before. They had this idea and they went for it and they're starting this company and they're throwing themselves all in there. But now the one thing that I do see with all of these women as well, and that I've experienced myself in my own practice in quite a male-dominated field, is the issue of imposter syndrome. Now I'm curious, in the chat, let me know if you know what imposter syndrome is, but if you don't, so imposter syndrome is essentially the feeling that, you're surrounded by all these people and you don't feel like you fit in. You might have all of the education in the world. You might be, the top of your class, but you still feel like there's a little voice in the back of your mind that says that you're not good enough, or that you shouldn't be there or whatnot. Now, for me, I think that kind of started as, a young girl around your age. I moved quite a bit around in Northern Ontario. If there's any teams in Northern Ontario, shout out to you guys, let me know. But yeah, I moved around quite a bit. And so I always felt like the new kid. I didn't feel like I fit in. I often, didn't raise my hand in class because I knew the answer, but I didn't raise my hand. I really wanted to just, melt in the wall, not stand out or anything. And that kind of transcended through university as well. I didn't voice my opinion in my classrooms, etc. And that led to actually quite a few people saying that they didn't think that I would be a good lawyer because I wasn't as opinionated, I wasn't as loud as other people, and so on. But what I did is that I, kept getting involved in a lot of organizations that help women. I, found this group of women and we built this Women in Business magazine to help kind of highlight all of the women in our circle that were doing really cool things. I volunteered with, organizations that helped international students, et cetera. And so bit by bit, I kept putting myself out in, situations that made me slightly uncomfortable, but I was succeeding at them. And so I was building my confidence. And that imposter syndrome was kind of going away. And so maybe this is something that resonates with you. Maybe you're, quite shy and you have a hard time speaking up, or, you're not from, the city that you're in school in and you feel like the new kid, or if you're not even from Canada and you just came to Canada and you still don't feel like you fit in. I'm here to tell you that will change, that will go away. You will find, the group of people that you belong with, where your voice matters. You will find that area that you fit in, whether it's in a hospital or, in a laboratory or in the engineering field or even in the courtroom. You will find your spot and that feeling will go away. So stick in there stick it out if you do ever feel that way. So I'm keeping this short and sweet, but I do want to leave you with 2 pieces of advice before I leave you today. And the first one is don't ask, don't get. And so if ever you want something, you just go for it and you ask it. If you have an allowance with your parents and you think you've been doing a great job lately and you think you want a higher allowance, go for it. Ask the question. You want a raise at your job, ask the question. The worst that will ever happen is that someone says no, and then you move on. But at least you ask the question, right? No one else is ever going to advocate for you in the way that you will. And I think the second piece of advice too is if ever you are in an uncomfortable situation, you are in a room full of people, you're very shy, you don't know how to introduce yourself, know that every single other person in that room is likely just as anxious, as uncomfortable as you are. And so if you can just have that little bit of confidence to just, go out and introduce yourself, you'll stand out and shine. And I can guarantee you that the person you're speaking to will appreciate that. So I really hope that my words today have been quite encouraging. Thank you so much for having me and congratulations to everyone again. I truly hope that I see a Hackergal graduate at some point in my future come to me with the next big idea. And I'm very excited to help you skyrocket that idea. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Veronique. That was amazing. I love hearing your story and just it's such relatable content because I'm sure there's so many learners across the country right now who may feel that way and sometimes feel shy or don't want to raise their hands. So being able to hear you say that in your position as this high-flying lawyer in downtown Toronto and giving that perspective is just really, really lovely and meaningful. So we're going to move on to some of the more logistical elements. I'll pass it over to Lucy, and I promise you, Brooke, we'll get to that question about submitting projects as soon as possible.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yes, like Rebecca said, we're now at the end of today's celebration. It's been such a fun week visiting so many schools and seeing how creative your projects have been so far. There's so much more to explore with cybersecurity and how we can all secure our digital footprint in the future. Now, I'd like to go over some final reminders with you all and next steps now. As a reminder, please use the Padlet to submit all of your questions. Padlet is a free digital tool that can help you get the support you're looking for by allowing you to submit questions directly to the Hackergal team. Scan the QR code on the slide or use the link Michelle's going to be dropping in the chat now. We also have our post survey. Remember all of those awesome prizes you saw? Here's how to win them. Completing the post survey gives you a chance to win a $100 gift card to Indigo. We have one gift card for one lucky Hackergal learner and one gift card for a lucky facilitator. Winners will be announced via social media during the week of June 10th. Teachers, please also remember to submit the answers for Monday's launch party cyber hunt game for a chance to win a donut and pizza party for your class. It is so important for us to hear from all of you, so please use the links to submit your post surveys. All learners, facilitators, teachers, and hackathon participants are encouraged to take a few minutes to complete the survey. Now, for our secret word reveal. Here is your fourth and final secret word. Are we ready? Drum roll, please. The final secret word for today's event is misinformation.
Et en français, désinformation.
If you haven't already got the other 3 secret words, they can be found in each of the pre-recorded webinars released on Monday and Wednesday. You can also rewatch the Hackathon kickoff event for the other secret word. Submit all secret words in the post survey for your chance to win over-ear headphones.
Oh my gosh, so many exciting prizes. And now we're getting on to project details. So you have a project, you're super excited to share it. It's all about cybersecurity. You're in grades 6 to 9. You're ready to go. You've got your project. Where do I submit it? Via the post survey. So again, that link that is shared in the chat for the post survey, hang on to it. Your deadline for submission isn't today. You can submit anytime from today to Sunday, June the 9th. So you have plenty of time to work on your project, hone your skills, make sure it's super strong. We're going to be submitting it to these judges on screen, these incredible professionals in the world of tech, to review and to figure out what the top projects are this year. All you have to do is make sure that your link to your links project is submitted along with your post survey. There will be a section very clear there for you to submit your to submit your project in the post survey. So please just use the Padlet, ask questions this weekend if you have any other questions on that. We're going to go over once again the prizes, which is very exciting. So the prizes for your coding projects are either a tablet if you submit as an individual, as one person, you submit your project, you get a tablet if you're a top prize winner, or if you submit in a group of 2, so 2 people submit one project, so you both submit the same link because you worked on it together, you will both have a chance to win a Kodak digital camera. Wow. So submit your projects on the post survey by June the 9th. We will be sharing this recording of this event after the event, so everyone will get a chance to rewatch this if they want, and you have plenty of time to ask questions on the Padlet this weekend too. So we're going to move on now to just remember to get you to tag us on social media. Please use the hashtag I am a Hackergal or just using Hackergal. Please add us, at the Hackergals, and whatever you're posting, we would love to see your images and share them with our community. Please stay connected with us via social media. And I would like to also thank our sponsors. A huge special mention goes to the Communications Security Establishment, CIBC, Fasken, and Synovus for supporting our mission in today's special event. C'était tellement bien de vous avoir avec nous. Merci à nos super partenaires, Centre de la Sécurité des Télécommunications, CIBC, Fasken et Synovus pour avoir rendu cet événement possible. And a final thank you and merci to all of the Hacker Gals joining myself and Lucy today across the country. Wow, for our live hackathon closing party. This is amazing. Take care, all of you. Please stay coding, stay interested, stay a part of our community. We can't wait to see you for the 2024-25 school year in September. We have some super exciting programming in store next year. I promise you, it's worth checking out. And we can't wait to work with you again on next year's Hackergal Day and Hackathon. So please stay connected, stay coding, and we'll see you soon. Have an amazing summer, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Stay well, stay safe. Enjoy your summer times. See you all soon. See you next year.
Bye, Heather. Bye, Lindsay.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, all our guest speakers. Bye, Heather. Nice to see you. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye, Mount View. Nice to see you in the chat. Great job, Hacker Gals. Great job. Goodbye from Notre Dame. Thanks, everyone, for joining. And bye, Saskatchewan. I see you, North Battleford. See you there. We'll see you soon. See you next
Bye,
year.
Mountain View.
Yeah, bye, Ecud Puntledge as well. Bye-bye. See you soon. Enjoy your afternoon out in BC and out west.